Hey, everybody. Welcome to another session of Philly by Night here, in which we are playing Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition set in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, ensconced in a world of darkness. You've seen me before on the player side, but hi, Fennec is now in the ST seat, and I get to start introducing you to some of my wonderful players here, especially in this point 5 here called Hlessi Wanderings, in which we get a somewhat familiar face back to the city. Um, Mr. Pendleton over here. But to start, we're not starting on the date of March 19th, 2025. Instead, we're starting in December 20th, 2023. A little bit back. Uh, Pendleton, you are currently at your haven and whatnot. You have started to pack up the scuttlebutt in the city as the snow falls and everything. Kindred rumors seem to fly faster that your sire, the Primogen Ripjaw, has gone a little. Well, the beckoning is a slightly newer phenomenon, but some can't help but wonder if a Nosferatu can't get good information. Is the beckoning not long behind?
Right. Um, yeah. I mean, there's always been people who've talked about Elias. Um, so we're not we're not strangers to rumors to about him, but yeah, they definitely are. The rumors have more teeth these nights, it seems.
More teeth, and unfortunately, a lot of money backing those rumors, giving them strength. Is the Ventru Primogen Lydia Burke has seemingly done an excellent job in discrediting your sire and your Primogen in every way imaginable and whatnot. There are some who still follow Elias's counsel and have wisely pulled away from Philly for a little winter break.
Yeah. Now he has started to kind of point out, more danger about specific people, especially kind of there's rumors of someone talking with hunters and using them, um, some masquerade violations, that sort of thing. And no matter what people say, Pendleton believes Elias. He has, I mean, the blood bond is long past at this point. They've been working together, for decades. So it is more of a trusted thing. He doesn't see any signs that this is a madness um, or anything besides the rumor. The things he's saying seem to ring true. And Pendleton has started to keep his own eyes out for those. He's not as good. It's not, um, as far as Nos go, he is not the information gatherer as much. So, but he's trying to keep his eye open for things.
Yeah, which is all we can ask for, really. Just keeping your eye on the horizon. And you've decided a trip outside of town is, at least for a little bit, should
Yeah,
things come to pass.
yeah. I figure that if the warnings are true and he takes a trip outside of town, he'll be fine. He had some business to take care of anyway, and some distant family to go see. Um, but if they aren't true, then there's not a big deal about him coming back, one way or the other. He doesn't. He believes him, but he's not running for the hills, as it were. You
Yeah,
know.
which is fair. And where have you decided to, you know, weather for the holiday?
Well, he had Pendleton has been part of the kind of underground tattoo scene and that kind of alternative art scene for since he was mortal, essentially the rise of tattoo culture and everything is something that always fascinated him. And he has heard rumors and stories and credible things about the Painted Lady out of Chicago, and he had made some inquiries into coming and checking out how things worked there, another practitioner of that art, and had arranged for a temporary stay to come and somewhat apprentice and somewhat just to kind of guest host in their studio for a little bit.
Perfect. Yeah. So I imagine you're in your haven and you're packing up the last little trinkets and doodads, the personal items and whatnot.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, as you're doing that, you will hear on your haven door.
Yeah, he will kind of set things aside and go open to see who it is. He would check, peephole and things like that. And
Okay. All right. Let me bring on my fellow ST Einar here and describe who he sees through the doorway.
When you look through the peephole, you would see what appears to be a large, snow-covered, shambling mound. About 5 foot, all said, with the heap of snow across his shoulders.
this is a mound that Pendleton knows.
It's a very familiar round. It's a very familiar mound.
Right. And Pendleton will kind of open the door and let Elias in. Pendleton at this time is different. This is before the beast and guilt changes some of what he will appear as later. And he shares some of those like familial traits of their line. He's got a bit more of those Rodentian features that kind of speak to his clan, his embrace, and what it has done to him. So it's a bit more of the almost snout, but not quite the kind of weaseled features and teeth that kind of stand that way. And he will let Elias in.
And Elias, before entering, shakes the snow off of him. You can hear his characteristic grumbling. Something about fools and idiots.
Which ones are we tonight?
We are neither.
That's good to hear.
But they ousted me from the court, Pen.
Well, can't be so surprised by that.
I served Biddle faithfully for his entire reign. I warned him of every danger, every wolf at every gate. And this is how I'm treated. The beckoning. And he kind of mock spits to the side before he waddles further in.
Oh. When the things you say prove to be true, which we know they will, Biddle will hopefully understand the mistake he's made.
In the meantime, I'm thinking about taking a sabbatical out of the city. And he looks around. Seems like you might be going on a bit of a holiday yourself.
Yeah. I mean, you had mentioned that things might be bad and no one else is paying attention, but I can hear that they're writing, so.
Smart boy. Always know when to listen.
Yeah.
So, where to?
Heading up to Chicago. Going to. I got a guest spot with the Painted Lady. So.
It's a good gig when you can get it. It's a good gig.
Yeah. See if we can pick up any tips or tricks there. She's been doing it longer than I have, so.
She's been doing it longer than most people have. What a woman.
Did you know her?
No is a very interesting word.
Should I pass along greetings then? Or will that not serve me well?
You can send my regards. Things didn't end poorly. She is something.
Well, I will do so then.
But you know me, I've always been more of a lover than a fighter.
Where are you headed then for your break from courtly duty? It's a well-earned break.
I think I'm gonna go see. I'm gonna go see my brother. See what Dolly's up to.
Where is he at these days?
Yeah, it's best if I don't say. He's a man who enjoys his privacy.
We'll see each other after the holidays then.
And he nods. Yeah. Hopefully maybe I am losing it. Maybe it's time for a bit of a vacation. After all, you don't survive as long as I have without picking up a fair bit of paranoia. And as much as it hurts, I do hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Take some time off. Clear the dust out. Go see family. It's always good.
Clean the pipes, get my head screwed on straight. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
By the time you get back, I bet you'll have found someone else to target, and you can reclaim your place where you should be.
Here's to hoping. I sent a few letters to Johnny Boy down south, and well, he seems to be doing all right for himself. No reason for him to come running just yet.
Yeah. Who'd they put in your place?
The court is still debating on my replacement.
Yeah, I can imagine that debate will go for a while.
Well, you know how Biddle's court moves, slow as molasses.
Yeah. We've got the time for it, right?
So everybody keeps reminding me.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your break. If you talk to John, tell him I said hello.
I will. You never realize how much you miss the big idiot until he's gone.
Well, it's rare to find one of the blue bloods that we actually can get along with, so.
Yeah, get along. That's
some always better than more.
You've always had a way with words, Pen.
Hey, Pendleton, just for my shits and giggles, roll the intelligence and wits just to see if you recall something with your sire. And
Pendleton knows. He's not.
Oh, you know. Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So you know that you and your sire and John are Lavender Society buddies occasionally.
Oh yeah, Pendleton is playing things subtly on that, but yes, he knows exactly.
Yeah, running buddies.
Yeah.
Just two good pals, confirmed bachelors even.
They were tombmates even.
They were tombmates.
Surprisingly, so poor. They only had one bed. Weird for a Ventru.
It's good to be back. Elias will look around. Well, I figured I'd come by and just see you off, and you know how things go. But you'll keep in touch, though.
Oh
right?
yeah, I won't be gone long.
Excellent. And I'll let you know after the holidays. Inevitably, once the shame and embarrassment wears off, And he just kind of rubs those two long hands together, those fingers that are just a little, the proportions are just a little too off. He just looks around. Oh, I almost forgot. And he reaches into the pocket of this ratty, oversized hoodie that he wears. And he pulls out this small, it almost looks like a pocket watch before he holds it out to you.
No, he'll take that. What's this?
And so you can always find your way home. And it is, in fact, not a pocket watch, but rather a flip-top pocket compass.
Oh. Wouldn't want to forget where I came from, so.
Yeah, that's a smart boy. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you to it. Besides, I'm sure I've got some packing of my own to do.
Oh,
And
yeah. I gotta get myself in a box into the train station, so.
And he gives a nod before kind of reaching up and patting the side of Pendleton's arm, before waddling to the door, turning around and giving you that smile filled with teeth like broken glass and vanishing.
Pendleton will tuck that kind of compass into his kind of the pocket of his vest and close the door.
And you don't so much see the door shut as hear it creak as Rip passes off into the snowy night. You eventually get yourself packed in, one of those nice big freight boxes, little pillow, some books to, enjoy for when you wake up and whatnot. And time is a funny thing. You get to Chicago and you think you're only going to be there a few days, and a few days stretches into weeks and months and a couple years, as on December 25th, you learned Biddle's Court was inevitably taken down by a squad of hunters. Everybody but Primogen Elias Ripjaw Thatcher and Primogen Lydia Burke of Clan Ventrue, who soon, in the time of crisis, did the most honorable thing and sat herself upon the throne because the people needed leadership after all. And before you could get back and check on your sire and make sure he was truly okay and whatnot, your marker to the Painted Lady in the court of Chicago had been called in.
News travels slowly when it's traveling the ways ours does. So at first he didn't know. All he knew was that the court had been hit, that it seemed everyone was dead. And during that time, he had to set up a more permanent situation in Chicago, and that turned into a longer stay than he wanted it to be.
Indeed, even for the seat of the Camarilla, Chicago has become, news does take a bit, but eventually, as you settle into the Painted Lady's house and working and learning new tricks of your trade with tattooing and a few other things that she has up her sleeves, you eventually hear that Prince Burke's wayward son, John Sexton IV, came home and managed to set the house right aflame. That depends on who you talk to in the court, after all. But he soon would, with the help of your sire and a few others in the city, set about his new court and everything. The next little bits of news are strange. It comes in fragmented. The Ventrue have to go there and try and collect a wayward member. Mr. Pierce, you think, is the last name if you heard the scuttlebutt right, but eventually they come back to talk of hunters having been taken out in the city. The Tremere had their chantry exploded. It's hard to keep something like that under wraps. And eventually, not much word of Prince John Sexton, but instead Prince Alesia Sexton, the Merciful, reaches your ears.
I think that's a name he knows. I mean, he knew Alesia before. Like they were cousins, of a sort. Like he wasn't as close with Alesia because they weren't in Philly.
Yeah,
but knew him in passing. Had done, So hearing that they took the throne is definitely going to be even more driving force on him clearing out his connections to Chicago to make it home.
You hear, it's about January when you hear that Alesia, your cousin, for all intents and purposes, after all, your sires were broodmates, so it's a cousins, close cousins, as people would say, has taken the throne. You would have also heard that she did marry John, but he's seemingly out of the picture now. So it takes you about a month or so to settle your affairs, to arrange travel and everything. Esther Ferlaria. I couldn't remember her maiden name. That was where my brain was blanking. But yes, Alesia Sexton ni Esther Ferlaria. And it is about...
I am too Caucasian to say that name.
I
a
am
lot of vowels in a row, and
I'm trying my best, and I appreciate whoever is watching for taking pity on this dyslexic NB as I do so. But you eventually get all your affairs in order. It's about mid-February when you do this, and towards the end of February when you finally get back to Philly. You send word through the family, as one does, that you're looking to get established and whatnot, and it takes you a little bit to, find a haven that's suitable for both your haven and your business needs. And eventually, through the delightful rat union of this city, a group of Gould rats, you're surmising? You were never one for the animal friends, much like your sire, but they seem fairly intelligent. One even has a little postman's cap on, delivering you a message that states from your dear cousin, who is now Prince, that they would love to have a family reunion with you on March 19th of 2025.
Yeah, Penn is not... He's not the most animal friendly of Nos. He has a little bit of the skill with it, but mostly in the sensing danger more than anything else. But he can respect showmanship, and tiny costumes on the rat is something he can appreciate.
Yeah.
He would send back the response of course I would, honored to meet the prince at this time.
Yeah, fair enough. And that is where we kind of tumble into the present day, you waking up as the sun sets at around 7:30 p.m. here in Philadelphia, remembering all this that has happened and the force crashing into you as your beast, and trigger warning for descriptions of body horror and feelings of burning and burn imagery. And your body feels as if the guilt has started this wildfire that grows from your chest and spreads down into your veins. And as you look upon your arms, they seem to almost glow this bright, hot red as the flesh begins to cave away from the pallor of death into the blackness and orange of burns and flesh that has become a little too intimate and familiar with fire as your starving decay flaw kicks in, buddy.
Yeah. Ever since the news came through about what happened to the Nos, these stories that have come through about what happened to the Nos, especially the burning of the Warrens and things like that, his beast and guilt changed him. He doesn't carry the same family traits of like the kind of animal traits and those things as much anymore. He's now a mass of burn scars and twisted flesh that really, when his beast is up, that lights that fire under his skin again and shows through. But even when he is fully, sated, the burn scars, that skin that seems to have run like melted wax, is now his new normal.
Yeah.
So he wakes to those nightmares of fire that he wasn't there for, so they could be worse than anything that actually happened, and wakes into a body that is burning with that guilt for not being here, of not trying harder to get other people to recognize the warning that was coming. And he knows he needs to see about settling those things before official meetings.
Yeah. And just quick check-in. I know we're kind of starting to hit the ground running. Perfect.
Yeah, we're good.
Just wanted to make sure. Awesome possum. Yeah. As you're kind of like moving about, getting ready for the day, the beast in the back of your mind seems to be stomping its foot against the cage that most kindred keep theirs in, much like a frightened rabbit screaming danger and everything, yelling about your guilt and whatnot. But you said, when I checked in your chat here, you're going to call up your herd to kind of, help fix this little image issue and whatnot.
Yeah, we're gonna check in. We've made a few connections already to establish some of that before too settled in.
Okay.
Since he knows how his hunger works, it is some of the first things he did, even before setting up a more permanent haven, establishing herd and things like that were very high on his priority list.
Oh yeah. And given that your feeding type is the Osiris, somebody who has a sort of like cult like following around your fame, your years as a tattoo artist have left you as mostly a master of your craft at this point. And the Painted Lady just helped refine that even further. So it is not too much of a hardship to have, two people, as you put it, come up to your shop for a private booking, and whatnot, and take that little edge off.
Yeah. And it also kind of uses that time, because part of the feeding is, repaying the herd with some of this work, is putting in a short amount of time on some tattoo work. And it's a way of centering himself, because it's, art has been the thing that's kept him centered since he was a mortal child and was sickly and hiding out from the plague and the flus and stuff that were going around at the time. And it kept him sane in trenches, and during the times all he could hear was stories from what was happening back here. So it's definitely the thing that he will throw himself into before he heads on to meet the prince.
Yeah. And it's, it doesn't take you very long. These two are, because they're relatively new to you and it's your first time, it's mostly the artist consult. So sketching out a few quick ideas, about an hour and a half. And as you see one of them, the last one out the door, and you start to go lock up your shop, the Lucky Rabbit tattoo, does it have a bell on it, or is it more of a...
I think it probably has a bell. I think at the moment it's mostly just my own place, so it's not a huge thing. So just a bell is fine.
Okay. Yep. You hear the bell above your door open. Inside walks a feminine-looking individual. She looks to be about mid-20s, pushing closer to later. Clearly just died that night. Red hair pulled up in a messy ponytail. Kind of that academic look with the service dog next to her. That seems to have mismatched eyes and is rather fluffy. But she's looking around, and you can notice that she does have some tattoos upon her arms. You can see a couple kind of peeking out from the shirt line that they're wearing and whatnot.
Any that stand out as significant?
Go ahead. Are you really looking, or are you just trying to get a quick look?
I mean, he has the specialty of occult tattoos in occult, but mostly it's looking at, the quality of the work. Is that that sort of thing?
Go ahead. We will call for one of them. If you're just looking real quick, we'll call it a wits occult plus occult tattoos.
Sure. It's just only a couple of dice, but it's just a quick look.
Yeah. All right.
4 successes.
Hey, 4 out of 4 dice is pretty good, man.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. You would see there is one kind of up here on the right chest area that seems to be a Fibonacci sequence, but is also seems to have some sort of elements for foresight to it, some like sort of occult foresight to it. And the one that is on the left chest area and the left arm tend to look more like new pagan Wiccan kind of. And as you look closer, Chicago has a lot of Tremere. Chicago also has been known as a travel point for many kindred, especially House Karna kindred. So kind of seems to ring the vibe with that.
And enough Tremere came through the Painted Lady's house for work, because there is some slight dabbling in red work that's happening behind the scenes there that I think picking up, on Karna things seems to be something he would at least have vague understanding of.
Yeah. She'll kind of look around and wave. Huh. Nice place you got.
Well, thank you. Can I help you?
Yeah, just in the market for a new artist, so heard you were a newcomer to town and figured I'd check the place out. Name's Mix LeClaire. Go ahead, roll me a composure and resolve as she holds out her hand for a handshake.
Sure.
Difficulties 4.
Got nothing that helps with any of these things. So composure resolve, you said?
Yep. Come on. Hey, I fixed the ope from earlier.
We'll get 3.
A 3's not bad. It's not going to beat the difficulty if you want to spend a willpower, though.
Does she present as someone hostile to the passive parts of Sense the Beast?
Other than that she is kindred? No.
Okay. She doesn't pose a threat. I can tell she's kindred between the kind of tattoos and also from the beast. Well, I didn't do the beast part that'll be like definite, but I kind of got the ideas from the accumulated. He's not going to worry too much about it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the most that might strike you as odd is there is a rosary wrapped around the right hand, but
yeah,
Tremere are weird.
Yeah, I mean he's cautious about like the rosary. Are there any other signs of her faith?
Nope, just the rosary.
Okay. Just the rosary is not enough to make him too worried about it. But I'm not gonna worry about spending the willpower.
Okay. And then really quick, yeah, because she used Scry the Soul on you. How you feeling, buddy?
Better now.
Okay.
Worried, we've got the hunger under control, but we are worried. I mean, we're meeting a prince. That's always somewhat concerning. We're back home, and that feels weird. So there's a lot of conflicted emotions, I would imagine.
Okay.
But he's fairly normal. Nothing too out there.
Okay. She'll just nod and look you over. Figured, there was a joke a while back I should start a welcome committee, so I figured I just introduce myself now. And she'll slide 2 business cards across the counter. One will read New Horizons Therapy. And the other will read where did I put that? I have it in my chat. Give me 1 second because I gotta bounce back up. We'll read Dr. Julia, owner of Garland of Letters.
Okay. And he will pull out. He has the wallet that he carries kind of opens up to have like a little sketch pad in it, and he will tuck the cards into there before the wallet disappears again. But yeah. He will also produce, one of his own. Actually, he doesn't. I don't think he has them yet. We're still somewhat early in this. He's like, I don't have cards yet, but I'm guessing you know who I am, so that's not too much of a problem. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Peek around, see that y'all are alone. Sire Leclerc, Court Oracle / unofficial welcome committee.
Ah. Well, I do feel officially welcomed then. Are you my escort tonight, or are you just stopping by coincidentally?
Little column A, little column B. Prince Alesia. The sexton thing gets a little confusing, especially when you knew them both.
Right.
Figured somebody who's been around for a little bit and has got the woo-woo eyes in case other things happen is always good to escort people around.
Well, not going to complain too much about that.
Yeah. Gesture. This is Arwen. I promise he don't shed that much if you're worried about your machines and whatnot. And if he does, send me the bill.
I have to clean them all anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Good. And she'll gesture behind her where there's like a black SUV. Figured it's the easiest way to get to the art museum where all y'all are going to be meeting.
Not definitely the most pleasant way to get there.
Yeah. And she'll gesture to you. Do you need to grab anything before we go, or?
No, he will kind of grab his cane and his hat and, wave her towards the door and lock up behind everybody.
Yep.
Flip the sign to closed and lock the door.
Easy enough. Yeah. You'll watch as Cyrene says something in, let me check your languages here.
I don't think I've ever written it down because I have not taken any linguistics, so.
You get 2 at the start, so English and then pick another one, but it sounds clearly Eastern European in origin as she loads the dog up.
Yeah, I think German is probably what we'll end up with.
Okay.
That makes some amount of sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
I will lock that down.
Yeah. No worries. That just reminds me to go through and check everybody's. But yeah, no, she'll get in the passenger area. There's a what looks to be a middle-aged woman in the front driving. And once you're both are in, we'll start the car and head towards the City Art Museum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. As the wise, mighty voice of God says in the background that no one else can see, but the primary linguistic influences in Philadelphia are Italian, German, Dutch, and Swedish.
Yeah, I was trying to think what things he might have picked up along the way, and being a vet, German maybe, but also, depending on how much time he spent with Elias, we'll see. I will nail down that other language at some point.
Yeah.
It's not there's not going to be the interesting one for knowing secrets here, I guess.
Yeah.
But
It's all good. Sire just kind of looks over at you, scratching Arwen's ears, and just kind of has that face of, if you have questions, I can probably answer them. But,
I mean, he doesn't really have too many questions at the moment.
That's fair.
As he doesn't know the lay of the land enough yet to have questions. So he's mostly keeping an eye out, watching, as they go by, looking for things that he used to know, because he's got parts of the lore sheet for Philly under Philly, so he recognizes. It hasn't been that long, even on a mortal time frame, since he's been here. So, but there's definitely going to be, signs that he missed, graffiti marks and stuff for different people that he knows no longer exist, that have been faded and painted over by this point. And the city moved on even in the short period of time. So
Sire will kind of notice him looking out the window. I was told by John it changed a lot, even from when he, did his brief stint down south and whatnot.
yeah, we like to think we have lots of time, and it is constantly proven that we don't. Well, even those who are supposedly immortal don't really get to claim the title. So,
yeah, a lot of us are. We made a bet with death, and now we get to see how long we get to keep that tab running.
Is the way of things. We just get a few more nights to run. I think that's mostly what we get.
She'll nod and chuckle, kind of looking out at the city, and you do notice, like, your recollections of Philly. Philly is an old city. Philly has a lot of like dirt and grime and things to it, but there's a fair sense of regalness to it and pride of what it is. And as you kind of look out, it seems to have grown slightly darker in the night. Things seem to be a little more twisted, a little more dark, a little more dying around it.
He's watched this city for the last century, so he's seen some of that change and some of that, the difference in people and buildings, and he has a lot of memory here. So even the short time away didn't destroy a lot of that. So seeing how much has changed just since then is somewhat shocking. He's got questions, but I think those are questions he's going to have to wait, because I don't know if he has the basis for how to ask them or to look into them yet. So
yeah, I was gonna say you could make an intelligence and occult roll, but the difficulty is going to be real high to see if you can suss out what's going on.
Yeah, he doesn't have the occult knowledge to understand that, why the city has changed the way it has. But he can tell it has, and he's trying to find his footing enough to figure out ways to figure that out. Because, one of the big things we're coming back is to find what was lost, to find if anyone else slipped through the cracks, those kind of things. So
yeah, you'd watch Sire kind of fiddle with that sworn necklace that they're wearing and look at the city. She's good city, better than some of the ones I've been in. Deserves people sticking around to make sure others can see it.
it is different.
Hell, I got here 2023 and it's looked different then.
Yeah. From what I understand, that means you came in not too far after I left, so.
Well, John and Alicia were supposed to be having a wedding up here. Turned into a bit more than that.
Yeah. Sad I missed that when it did happen.
No, I'm sure if you ask Alicia nicely, she's got pictures of it drawn somewhere.
I'll have to do that.
And you would remember from your brief interactions with your cousin, both of you were pretty gifted in the arts. And it seems Cyrene is implying it's grown in her time away.
That's good to know.
Please hold
The
while I go fight
Muppets.
some bedrooms.
The Muppet Army.
I think. Okay, we're good. Apparently. Damn Ventru and their lineages. As you see, there's just two youngins on the corner arguing back and forth about whose father is better, but that's another story for another day that we'll never ever touch again till this bit is needed. But yeah, if you don't really have any other questions, Cyrene,
Yeah, I think he's still trying to figure out the lay of the land. Like Cyrene introduced himself as Court Oracle, which is an intimidating title to come back to. So
yeah, they forgot their newest one too because they're not used to it yet.
yeah, that one would have been even more like it would have just been even more shut up in the corner. So
but yeah, it's more just she'll let you, the ride will pass in silence. The most noise will probably be from Arwen shifting around and making pupper noises before the driver pulls into a special lot that the Philadelphia Art Museum has, and has a private sort of entrance and whatnot for everybody to go in, and she'll gesture. Pretty sure you're Primogen, Her Grace, and a few others of the family that came to help out are up there for you.
well, thank you for that. Yeah, like considering who held the post before, yeah, Pendleton is even more closed off from the person who has been appointed Oracle.
Yeah, Malkavian to Tremere, that's kind of a journey.
Right. And, he's had some dealings with the Tremere, but he also knows that he's dipped his toes into water that some people think he shouldn't be in. Not a whole lot, but just enough that he's wary of Tremere. But he will thank Cyrene for the welcome and the escort, and we'll climb on out of the car then.
Yep. Well, darkness keep you, and stick to the shadows, and she'll wave you off, and as you get in the elevator, the car will slowly pull away to wherever Cyrene's next appointment is.
Whichever next small child she has to go introduce to the city.
So many of you goddamn kids. But
though I think we say that, but I'm pretty sure Pendleton is older than Cyrene.
You are.
So
it's the mileage, not the years. But yeah, you get in the elevator. There's a button that's labeled special offices with a little symbol for the Camarilla that you can press that will get you to where you're going.
Yeah.
Fucking Ventru Muppet, of course, he's the one who has to yell.
Well, it's his job.
It is his job.
If he's not yelling, who is filling the air?
This is true. But yeah, you will press the button the elevator ride passes in relative silence and quickness. It opens up to what looked to be the special kind of offices / acquisitions area. There's a young woman, looks very much like Zoe Deschanel, sitting there with her name badge reading, the plaque on the badge reading Miss Wayne, Special Collections Secretary and whatnot.
And, Pendleton is not trying to move silently or do anything. He's not leaning into those gifts of the family at all. So his presence is quickly announced by the sound of boots and cane on the floor and the elevator opening. He'll pull out that invitation that he was sent.
Yeah. The woman, Miss Wayne, she'll take it, and she looks a little out of place for a second, almost as if the sound of your cane and footsteps was triggering something else. But we'll look at the invitation, nod, and basically, oh, right this way. And she'll lead you over to where an office that reads Special Curator. I forgot Alicia's mask name, but it would be under there, and whatnot. And she'll just give a knock on the door, and let me go ahead and bring in our prince. Alicia Strange is what it would read. Thank you. I swear I have all this written down somewhere.
Yeah, once they are invited in or told to enter, he will. Doff the hat, step inside.
Cousin.
Your Grace.
This is not the freaked out fledgling to whom you were introduced. Clearly.
He would have been surprised if that was still the case.
This is not the shy little Nos hiding behind various things. She is dressed as in character outfits, as is her familis. There are all kinds of rats in all kinds of costumes, just kind of chittering around the room. And she is without mask and without veil, so her hair is black and gray. And her face is a very Nosferatu face.
That cat. How do the rats react to there being the Lupin?
Nobody seems to care.
Hmm.
The cat is grooming itself, and occasionally some of the rats.
I feel out of place looking at the SPC's closet where everyone has some kind of animal with them. But
Do you want a buddy? We can get you a buddy.
no, we are fine.
You can have several.
Which, as my lovely fellow ST Cadet said, the office is large enough to where I can also bring in our other ST, who is going
Yay.
to be doing a few people who are sitting on couches just chittering among themselves.
Well, we'll find a place to stand until something else is offered. He does not have the most courtly manners, in that I just realized I didn't give him a single dot of etiquette, so that'll be fun, I'm sure.
You can take a seat wherever you need to. It's a family event, not necessarily a courtly one.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen each other, so we can start formally. If that pretense has been set aside, then all the better. And Pendleton will find a place to make sure that there's no rats or anything in the chair, shooing any of it out of the way before sitting.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem bothered by them, obviously, but it's just not his. He's not that kind of Nos.
I muted myself when I meant to talk. Yeah. I think let's see, you saw Hlessi, and I think the next logical thing for you to see is Einar. Tell us how a certain gentleman is sitting with his buddy.
So there is one of the Nos who looks incredibly rodentin. Not just his hands, but also his face has very clear rat-like features. And he has a very chubby white and gray rat that is in his lap that he's just kind of every now and again reaching into his pocket, grabbing a Cheez-It, handing it to the rat. And the rat is sitting in the man's lap like a people. So he's, just kind of reclined back. He's got the Cheez-It just kind of munching away like, yes, this is my chair.
This is my chair, who is a people. And I think as Pendleton would sit down, there's a little whistle, and these two rats in the little newsy hats kind of scuttle off. One's gray, one's white, to a individual dressed in kind of baggy, grungy clothes with dark blue hair pulled back in a ponytail, trigger warning scars and things. One eye socket is just completely scarred over with what seem to be burns and knife scars on their face. And they wave. And behind them, standing looking like a proud papa, is what can best be described as a Fallout ghoul in a suit outfit, but yet decided to expose the slutty collarbones with a large tabby sitting upon his shoulders. Just waves at you. Hey, welcome in, kid. Happy to finally have you here.
And he will kind of give nods and greetings to those. And he just kind of stops and stares at the two rats with cabbie hats. He's like, do we have a tiny tailor in this city?
Well, I don't know if he'd like to be called tiny, but we do have a tailor that specializes in dressing them.
Fabulous.
Yeah, and the weird one, like Cousin Alicia, Prince Sexton, like your taste is immaculate, Boobala, but some of the people you keep are a little weird. That Primogen, the Tremere one, it's trying to knit sweaters for the cats is where I draw the line.
That is not the strangest thing that Oracle Leclerc has ever done.
It doesn't even break top 10.
Are you aware that spiders can be knit leg warmers?
Huh.
Very small thread or very big spiders.
Little
Bit of column A.
Yeah, that was the part I was the most worried about the answer for. Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, you did meet Daddy, didn't you?
In passing.
Hmm.
Didn't no. I did not stray far from Philly unless I needed to, so
Makes sense.
yeah. It's home.
How much of the goings on are you aware of?
I've caught the highlights and the breaking news type things, but the details are, well, fuzzy at the best.
So you know what he predicted, what he saw coming, happened.
Yeah. It's why I left. It's why he left for a while.
He didn't go far neither.
Yeah. I didn't trust that he would. He was, him saying he was taking a break, I figured was wounded pride more than him actually doing it. He wasn't going to leave the city or the people here, no matter what they thought of him.
How about what happened, Alpha?
I enough to know it was bad. And then once again, only the things that made it all the way to Chicago, which were the most sensational: banks blowing up, hunters running rampant, that sort of thing. But nothing of substance.
And his deposition now.
Which him are we talking about in this case?
In this case, we are talking about Elias Thatcher.
I have heard yeah. I haven't gone to see him, but I know where he is. So,
And in the state he is in, I was just trying to figure out if I would be springing a death notice on you.
No. That reached me where I was. Part of why it took so long to get back, there were debts incurred with my reaction. So,
Well, that's a shitty way to keep someone around.
yeah. Chicago, for all its lauded center of the universe, is still a city that runs on debts and obligation. Its mob days are still very much in effect, and debts were owed and had to be paid. If I wanted to make it back here without Chicago following me.
I don't figure you managed to do much of that either.
Well, enough that anything that might follow is more manageable.
Benign.
Yeah. Well, maybe not benign, but not on the level that it is the city or the court. Individuals, perhaps, but nothing that
We
can't
used to
be
that.
handled. Yeah.
Chicago keeps an uncomfortably close eye.
No. What else are they going to watch? So.
Seems like Chicago followed more of the Ventrue than anybody else.
Yeah, I heard some of that. I said, Grapevine does hit some high notes, but that's, I was more looking for news out of Philly, not headed towards Philly. So,
Like, don't get me wrong, Chicago, New York, wonderful places, but like, how much details did they give you? Did they give you like a little bit, or was it just like, a full sub full of juicy details?
Headlines, as I said, like we got, the parts that would be fit to print. So the parts that bled.
Cool. In which case, Felber, you would know that there. You know Rip died, but you do not know the manner of his death. You just know he's
Right.
dead, and that
Right.
bunch of shit got blown up,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term.
With Rip dying, I figured that more came through family channels more than anything. But things like, oh, a bank blew up. Oh, there's a bunch of contested things with court. That was more on the public side of as public as gossip gets. So
not one, but 2 hospitals decided to go kaboom.
And a portion of the Comcast tower.
And a portion of the Comcast tower.
Yeah. So like he's heard the parts that are, good for breaking news, but not any of the,
Yeah. So, Gato, the ghoul, the Fallout ghoul looking one, will kind of look over at Hlessi and give a shrug, like, and to Rat Tail, it's your choice if you want to, but introductions, right? My bad. Hi, Gato, lovely to meet you. I'm got my fingers in wonderful little pies. You look like you all could use some new toys and everything. And this, he'll hug the blue-haired individual next to them who grumbles, is my kid, Charlie. Aren't they just wonderful? Can take a man's head off at 400 yards. Thanks, Gato.
So, I mean, not the worst skill to have.
The other gentleman shrugs and gives a little wave. You can call me Rat Tail. I'm newly appointed Primogen.
Good to know.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, once I'm more established and set up, I'll probably have questions or things about the business that went on. So
we can have you over at the Fright Factory, show you around a little bit, let you know where places are.
Yeah,
get you settled in a little bit.
Do we need to be in the throne room for this to, be an official state visit? Or is in here still comfortable?
I think that is up to you.
Your darling, most wonderful, gorgeous, most beautiful eminence of all. It's your fucking show. Run it however the goddamn fuck you please.
Oh, right. You lived here before.
I did.
So you know how things was.
I know how things were under Biddle, yeah.
We don't do that here no more.
I have to ask for clarification on what things we don't do.
A lot of the formality.
Could be okay with that.
There ain't much point to it is all. Also need you to be aware I'm a seat warmer for my husband.
That is a headline I have not received. Where
Well,
is
of
John?
course not. Citizens know. Prince Sexton got into a little bit of a debate with hunters that came to town. He is not currently fit for his office. Hence the seat warmer.
There is some noticeable unease from the other Nosferatu in the room at this mention.
Some folk will only take brags if they get put in torpor.
That seems fitting with what I remember of him.
Workaholic, thy name be Sexton.
Just can't get enough of that sweet, sweet workahol.
So John is taking a well-deserved break, and I'm keeping things running until he gets back.
It's good. Sounds like he deserved the break. Pity, though. I liked him. So,
Yeah, well, you might still like him. He's softened a bit.
Here,
I think that might be personal preference more than anything else, but
No, I mean, he's not quite as much. He pulled out the stick just like a couple of inches.
Your Grace, I don't think that's as disarming as you think it is.
I can imagine some. I saw how him and Elias were together, so
Yes, something like that. Slightly less of an asshole.
he's still Ventru, so
That
we won't
is
hold that
accurate,
against
yeah.
him too much.
That is accurate, yeah. How much do you have to do with the Ventru?
Only what I have to. When they pay, their money spends. So, but I said Chicago is. Biddle's Court had a pretty hard definition against some of the Ventru and the Nos. Chicago is not too dissimilar. So
Philadelphia is different.
I would hope so, since the last time I was here, they were actively trying to kill us all.
Correct.
And from what I understand, mostly succeeding.
Also correct.
But the grapevine says that those responsible were paid back in kind.
Well, we ended up getting one of them with Silva in his bong water.
Creative.
Another one got smashed to death with a hammer.
Well, you can't fault the old ways.
Another of them was completely wiped from existence.
I'm not going to shed a tear for any of them. So,
That would have been the supreme bitch.
oh well.
And the last one of the sons, well, he had to fight a monster and came out on the losing end.
Couldn't happen to a better, more deserving branch then.
No, it couldn't. And she just kind of raises one hand and scratches what looks like a scarred monogram below one of her eyes.
That's the one that's blue, correct?
Correct.
That, if you look closely, is in. Well, those look an awful lot like John's initials.
Yeah. But I'm going to go out on a limb here. This is a thing where I know where that is from, and I'm guessing Pendleton, with his experience, professional skill, and also the occult thing sitting on there, can tell both how it was done and that it was done in such a way to cause that pain and things like that were the goal, more than it being a clean heel and design, that it was an intentional making of the process worse, even if the process is bad to start with.
You would be correct, especially since with your experience in this realm and certain gifts you have. For many kindred, those that ritual, that seal the brand ritual, it does tend to leave a tiny bluish tint around whatever is
Yeah.
used to seal it.
And there are definitely ways to make that more painful and more obvious. Pendleton knows because Pendleton doesn't know because he's done that. He knows because of all the ways used to make it less of a torturous process. So
Right, like one of those give and take things. If there's a way to make it easier on the individual, there's got to be ways to make it harder on the individual.
Right. So he can kind of tell just from looking at it, because tattoo artists can look at someone who did a bad tattoo and go, well, I see how that turned to be a bad tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
He can look at this, go, that person intentionally was, pushing the needle too deep and watching things blow out and not caring. So.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good to know that those debts have been settled at least.
Very much so. And were any of them still standing, I would be happy to settle the debt again.
Yeah.
That said, you're coming into a city with a wee bit of a presentation issue.
Yeah, the news has been unfavorable for the city, yes, from what I could hear.
Well, partly because we was flouting a lot of the Camarilla restrictions. At least partially. They have a good idea, but they don't do things the right way. At least not in my experience.
Right is not really what they're looking for. Stability is what they're hoping for, and from what we know, at least 3 changes of 4 counts for, say, 4 changes of power in what is a blink of an eye, essentially. Biddle to Burke, Burke to John, John to so 3, yeah. 4 princes, 3 changes. That's where my math was not mathing.
I was like, as we're all like counting on our fingers, like we can do the math.
Now, to the brass tacks. Do you remember how old I am?
Pendleton Wood, I do not remember.
Alicia is approximately 16. 16 years dead.
Right. And yeah, okay. So yes, I was around, or at least knew of it. When it happened.
Would suggest you forget that vital piece of information.
Done.
The Blue Bloods are in town. Supposedly to keep order, but actually because they have had 2 of their own deposed in a very short order.
I can imagine.
And it does not do for someone who claimed praxis to tell outsiders that I'm a seat warmer.
Far be it from me to speak on the prince's business.
Smart. Just remember that if they come asking.
I wasn't here.
The other
I have no information to give them.
interesting piece of news. Well, how familiar are you with the other blood sorcerers?
I have palled around with a few who dabble in the red arts, but Nothing official or above board.
How about the Banu Hakim?
They don't. Well, the majority of them keep their practices inside and don't share. So, no more than passing familiarity with them.
You know anything about their shepherds?
No.
Well, we got one of them in town also. Apparently, according to the very latest of news, he likes to go around picking people up. 'Cause they are two people you talk to. Bartender and your taxi driver.
Oh. Is there a purpose behind his visits? Or
My understanding is that this is a man who likes to pass judgment. And if the judgment is not favorable, he is not one who is above a bonfire.
can't say that is far from the understanding I have of their clan. As I said, weren't many of them hanging out in the same social circles as I was here or in Chicago. So, but judgment does seem to be kind of their shtick. So,
Which is fine when they judging each other, not us.
so more people looking into business that I know nothing about. Correct?
Correct. Except now you do. You know who's looking. And sometimes that's the best way to start getting any intel at all, isn't it?
Knowing who is looking doesn't mean that I have any information to give them. So,
Correct enough. Just like I said, keep it in mind.
of course, I appreciate the heads up.
I know from what Ripjaw said that you were more the artiste in a way.
Yeah, that was more where I found my interest and my focus.
Descendant of Zelios, huh? Yeah.
Guess
Struck a lot of us in similar methods, didn't it?
yeah, never looked too much into that. I know the name and some of it, but I've never really.
You are, same as me.
Yeah.
Our sires were broodmates.
Oh no, I know. I know the family tree so much, but I haven't looked too much into the family dispositions outside of myself and Elias, and we couldn't be. We were different.
I thank my lucky stars every single night that there is not another lick like Elias Thatcher.
Would now be a bad time to mention we did blow in the 80s together.
There is a confused look from the other Nosferatu across the room, like he's now counting on his fingers before he kicks off both of his shoes and starts counting on his toes.
Oh, okay. Oh, sweetheart, no, don't. We didn't physically do. No. See, there was these girls that and you know what? We'll do a story time later with diagrams and everything. I'm sure the prince has other things to teach us and talk about.
Pendleton wasn't even worried about the age thing. It's just like, how do you do blow without a nose?
fangs.
very carefully.
Like that part, he's like, didn't even think. He's just like, you have a nose, sir. Oh wait, yeah, we eat people.
It's
I
just a
forgot
hole.
about
that. Something supernatural quote about. Anyways,
I
before we
need
get
that.
into-
I need that to go in quotes. How do you do blows without a nose?
cocaine without a nose.
But before Gato can continue stepping over him, you watch as the two little rodents that are on Charlie's shoulder just skitter up and place tiny little paws over his lips. And then she pulls out two little wasabi peas. Thank you, Cheech and Chong.
Right. So that is a high-level view of what we got going on currently. The lower level is going to be, you have any arguments against being placed in a coterie?
No, I mean, as long as you don't, I guess, try and put me into one that's going to need me to do things I'm not good at. I never was much of a fighter or any of that kind of thing. So if you're expecting that, I would be a disappointment in that area. So
My understanding is that you have a nose for the occult.
a little touched on it some, mostly in where it relates to the art and stuff like that, but showing back up, mostly what I was here to do is try and figure out what happened. There's a bunch of names that I'd like to see where they ended up one way or the other. So
Can that be a free time project? Or did you want chapter and verse before we started?
no, I'm fine with it being a free time project. I'm not going anywhere. I'm home. As long as I am still welcome here.
You are, in fact. We got a couple of, shall we say, interesting religions.
Yeah.
Knowing the iconography puts you a step ahead.
You know, I know enough to skip a meeting or two, you know.
I want you to get real familiar with Mithraean iconography.
I can try my best.
Shouldn't be too hard in this city. Half the damn city believes in it already. That and that particular faith was used as justification by a prior regime for doing what they did.
Yeah. And it seems like it will be useful to know more about that, yes.
Fairly recently, we had a bit of a sun bomb problem.
Does sound like that would be a problem.
And again, tied to this specific faith.
Even more reason to know what's going on with that.
So if that is where your interests lie,
Well, more in seeing what happened to the family that was here when I left and is apparently no longer with us, but I think that will lead towards the other. So
the catacombs have gotten very large in your absence.
I have many nights to explore. So, but as long as I'm here, you mentioned a coterie, and I would imagine that has more individuals and also a a goal, a purpose.
So, you know how things pop up, but you can't get to them because your entire city's on fire?
Can't say that I personally have too much experience with a city on fire myself, but
It's a great time for marshmallows, let me tell you. New York during the 90s when the Sabbat decided to do their whole shtick. Wonderful
Kato.
time.
Focus.
Right.
Well, there have been a lot of faith-based and occult-based influences that happen to come up.
Hmm.
Now, the problem is we couldn't go digging into them because the city was on fire and leadership is currently being judged. However, if there happened to be a group of folk looking into mysteries here, there, elsewhere, probably wouldn't be a problem. Just wouldn't necessarily be something noticeable.
hard to focus on, the paper cut and the stab wound when the house is on fire. I get that. So
And unfortunately, as much as I would like to look into things,
you are
under surveillance.
you are a prince. You have people for that. Which I guess that is, I am now one of your people for that.
You know what? I'm gonna need you to have a talk with my husband when he comes back.
Delegation, not one of his strong suits.
That may or may not be why he had a debate with Hunters.
I wondered, 'cause normally I would imagine, from my experience at least, princes don't do a whole lot of frontline fighting.
Yeah, well, see, there are certain blue bloods that, due to certain talents inherent in their blood, they actually believe the immortality thing.
Uh, how is that? Well, I know how it's treating him. He is
Sleeping.
in depose. Yes. Well, uh, should he awaken and have the chance, I will.
When?
Yes, he will awaken. Should I have the chance when he is awake to remind him that he has but one kindred and has a city, I will do so at your behest.
You can do that after I yell at him for about a fortnight or so.
Oh, of course, of course. Prince and spousal privilege and all that.
That's another bit of information you probably want to keep close to the chest.
The wedding part?
No. I think everyone and their mother had opinions about that last April when it happened.
Ah. Which part should I keep close to my chest then?
My husband is indisposed. That is common knowledge.
True.
How he is indisposed is not.
The manner of his convalescence. Yes.
Correct.
What is the official story then?
The prince is indisposed and recovering.
We're just not elaborating on the depths of that recovery.
No, we are not.
Good to know.
Understood. And since so ladyship of her most wonderful eminence has decided, you need to go out and hunt dark, spooky things in the night. Should you and your coterie need a discount on, anything that can help with that, you just come to Uncle Gatto, understood? Give you the family discount.
Bombs and guns. He means bombs and guns.
I will keep that in mind. I'm going to hope that I don't need those particular services.
You would think you never do, but it's kind of like, oh gosh, what's that? The home security thing that they keep advertising on the televisions. Always good to have it. You never hope you have to use it.
Right. No, I get
Remind
that.
me to introduce this man to Percy.
Does he want a gun?
I think they're more towards spears, but general idea is the same.
It's been a long time, probably 1800 since I had somebody who wanted a spear, but, I can work with it.
We do also have a branch of the Carmelita Nielsen here in the city in case you need to do some research.
Always helpful. Haven't. No. As I said, research and knowledge are not the thing I'm the most, experienced with, but I know my way around a book if I need to.
Always helps to bone up on the occult, especially since this city has so very much in the way of it.
Gato, if you do not stop laughing at the phrasing.
Listen, I am a very simple Nosferatu. I am doing my best, your ladyship. I promise I will not think about bones and how they relate to the beast of two backs, your ladyship.
There is almost a glower from Rat Tail. Very simple.
But ain't the Carmelita Nielsen, ain't it run by your kid? And he'll gesture to Alicia.
It used to be. I don't think Justice has been spending most of his time at the library these nights. Probably got someone else to do a fill-in.
Good to know. Do I have other coterie members that I will be meeting, or you have those in mind, or is this in
I have one
process?
of them in mind.
Okay.
You did mention that fighting is not your shop skill.
Oh God, no.
Which is fine, because you'll have a bruiser in your coterie.
Always nice.
But the plan is to have all of you meet once we've finished assembling the coterie.
Well, I will look forward to meeting them all.
The early bird gets the knowledge first.
Well.
And I think Percy's still whatever it is Demeter was doing.
We do still have eyes on her, Your Grace, but keeping a distance as requested.
Excuse me.
Sounds like it will be interesting, at least.
It's a good word for it. Very interesting woman.
Do you mean Demeter or Percy?
Well, I've only seen Demeter, your grace, from a distance, but wowza.
You also probably going to want to get in good with Hoppy Dillard. Regular font of information, that woman.
Good to know. I've had fairly good dealings with those who hold that position before, so.
You're going to want to be a little careful. She is painfully Midwestern.
That's ain't more Midwestern than an Elks Lodge, but yet there she is.
Yeah, I will brace myself for it then.
And don't expect the Minnesota nice. If she ever knew how to do that, she have forgot.
Harpies who are nice don't seem to last long, so I wouldn't expect it.
Keen. Other than that, I guess mostly you just got to know we trying to build something egalitarian.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
You get what you earn. It doesn't matter what you used to be. When you here, you have to earn it.
I can stand for that.
I don't care if you're Victoria Ash coming into my city again.
That woman.
Well, I don't mind putting in work for things.
Well, and you know how it is. There are always those that need someone to look down on. It's awful hard to look down on the folks you used to looking down on when one of them's sitting the throne.
True, I get that.
Again, I got a sweet chiropractic deal for him. Just saying. You can hear the character sigh.
Rat Tail has just been sighing every time Gato opens his mouth. He's just like,
I'm surrounded by idiots.
This is my circus. These are my monkeys.
And Gato will at least hold up their hands. I can behave. I can just have thoughts in private with the family.
Speaking of, we should get going. Got to get you two settled into the clan haven and check in on Effigy.
Right. The other new family member who's not new, but anywho.
Do let me know how he's settling in.
Seems to be doing well so far. Haven't had any complaints yet.
While it is not unusual for a Nosferatu to terrify his coterie mates, he's doing a better job than most.
Well, one would think that the Tremere would have a keener eye for those things. He just stands up, scoops the rat up with him, puts the rat on his shoulder, smooths out the ratty and tattered sweater vest, straightens his tie, gives a nod to the prince before kind of looking at Gato and Charlie and cocking his head toward the door.
All right. I'm coming. Keep your shoes on. Although I will agree, you'd think, a guy named Hawk would have the eyesight of one, but my cat's better at it than he is, and make his way out the door.
And that leaves Pendleton and the prince alone again.
Right.
Family squabbles.
Well, wouldn't be family without them.
How much do you know about the way things transpired?
I know that not many survived. I know even less, that did not survive did it past easily. I know that it led to a lot of bad things, but as I said, haven't been here, and a lot of those are not stories and secrets that are being shared.
He blew himself up. Giving folks time to escape.
Yeah, sounds like him.
It was a rescue mission. Everybody else besides him made it out of there.
I knew the man for a long time. He wouldn't have wanted it any other way.
Bastard.
Oh, he was.
But he was our bastard.
Always will be.
Do you remember his stories?
As I said, I knew him for many years, yes.
Still. Even when he was being a grit in the system, you miss him.
I do. All we can do is continue on. Just honor the legacy he left behind, which was being a bastard, but one who would gladly lay himself on the fire for others. So
Daddy will be around the city.
well, I have to say hello. It's been a while. Said the shop is open to any of the family. So we're just getting things set up. It's starting to come together.
I'll let him know that. That way, hopefully, you'll have word before he decides to grace your establishment rather than a beef jerky mummy stuffed with spiders showing up.
Now, I did make sure that where I set up shop was had access, so still know my way around some of the old ways. So hasn't been that many years.
Talking about that, so we created a new position at Call.
Mm-hmm.
One of our cousins is the newly requisitioned Lord of the Under.
It's a fancy title.
He is a cousin by fairly loose standard. Do you know what a gargoyle is?
Creepy statue on a church?
No. When it's one of us.
Then I have no real idea.
Well, somebody.
Oh, sorry. Just to pause. I would say, given that Elias was your sire and has been around for a long time, he would have taught you what a gargoyle is, kind of like why the beef Nos and Tremere have with that and whatnot. Having been an older sire when he embraced you and whatnot.
Okay. I mean, I know then than he would have said. I guess I know some of the horror stories that Elias said. They were
Right. So our Lord of the Under is a gargoyle.
interesting.
He is a cousin, deserves to be respected as a cousin, and he liked Legos.
Okay.
If it's a mutated animal down in the sewers, chances are it's his.
No. Good to know. I'm still relearning parts of the old networks, and from what I hear, things have changed a lot in
Somewhat,
just a
yeah.
few years. Surprising what you guys can what can happen in 2 years.
Surprising ain't the least of it.
Yeah. Well, is the Lord of the Under someone I need to pay deference to, or just someone I need to look out for? Like, I don't know exactly the.
Well, kind of both. He's very friendly. Just doesn't like it when folks meddle with what's his. So, like, best if you find. Well, if you find the center with the entire Philadelphia skyline in you may not want to touch that.
No, of course not. I'll make introductions at some point then. At the moment, it's mostly been surface level. Some of the old shortcuts.
Pretty easy.
Yeah. But we'll make sure to tread with respect.
It's a hell of a thing.
Is there anything else I should know about this coterie? I know you're still assembling the members, but do we have anything else to know about that?
Well, so far you got Percy. Just starting on the neonate path. Fairly young. And Ventru besides, but, bruiser's a bruiser.
Well, try not to hold that against him.
Her. Percy is short for Persephone.
And Demeter. They do like the classics, don't they?
They do.
Well, we won't hold that against them either. Them in the general broad strokes. Not everyone can be creative and original.
Well, no, that's why they look down on us so damn much.
Yeah. Gives us stuff to do, at least.
They all look the same. We the only one with original anything.
It keeps us employed. And as long as they keep paying, I don't mind where they're looking, really.
True enough. We had some fleshcraft shenanigans. I'm pretty sure that was solved, well, to enough satisfaction.
Mm.
But we was having some fleshcrafting madness.
Well, you have had some interesting times in the city, it seems.
We have been ass deep in alligators from the moment we stepped up.
Would have, well, been back here sooner, but
Yeah, that's.
yeah,
I ain't holding nothing against you.
yeah, I am, but that's on me. So my own guilts are going to be my own to handle. So
It won't make you feel no better.
no,
But
I
if you
know,
had stayed, you'd be as dead as most of the rest of them.
I know. It doesn't mean I won't feel bad about it.
Right. By and large, the Nos who left are the ones who survived.
Yeah. Oh. Don't. I said the guilt and the ability to have done something about it are not. I
They ain't
understand they're not
mutually
productive,
exclusive.
right? And they're not productive in the long run, and I know that. But being back here will hopefully try and work off some of that, deaths, as it were, even if they are two, figments of my own mind.
Do you have any other questions?
No, not that I can think of.
In that case, she slides over a business card that says Sunshine Cleaners. This is the cleanup crew.
We'll take that and tuck that into his wallet as well.
She slides over another card that says Meals on Wheels. You ever find it's a bit of an emergency situation and you need a delivery? Their prices are very fair.
Good to know. Very good to know. Handy. I'm gonna have to get my cards get them printed up so that I can start handing them out. It seems everyone has one.
Bad habits.
Yeah, useful. Or restock the Rolodex, as it were. And we'll kind of stand.
And Alicia will stand also.
There's nothing else. And then he stops. There is something. And out of a pocket, he will pull something that looks like a small pocket watch. Before I left, the last time I saw him, Elias gave me something to help me find my way home. And I'm back. I think it might be right to pass on it to you, since I think being in charge of everything, you might need the guidance as well.
She's just going to stare at it.
And he will hand over the compass.
And like walk around the room, just staring at it. Oh, that motherfucker.
I was supposed to see him a couple days later, and then, well, we know how it
You
went.
gonna want to keep this.
You think so?
I don't know what the bastard did, but that ain't pointing north. At least not enough to be just a compass.
Never really looked at it that close. All right, if you think so. Yeah, he didn't look at it. He's not a person. He didn't need a compass to come home. He never thought of it more than a sentimental gift for him. So,
Well,
man has 0 dots in survival. He's not a compass person.
yeah, it don't point north. It points to summit.
Well, guess we'll add that to the list of things to learn where it's pointing then.
Yeah. If you're actively looking at it, you can go ahead and give me a resolve investigation.
Cool. There's dice in those pools.
It's a 6 dice. Or, well, no, 5 dice.
5 dice.
5 is good.
If is good.
Listen, it's better than one.
We got nothing. Ain't got nothing.
Spicy dice bot. We will just go ahead and chalk this down to you are looking at this compass, and
I can tell it's not pointing towards anything that makes sense. Like,
yeah, it's not pointing to anything that makes sense, and all you can think about is that final time you saw Elias is standing there in that ratty Philadelphia Eagles sweatshirt he wore with little bits of snow falling off of it, and just how he looked at you with the pride that a father looks at a son before disappearing off into the night. And it's just whatever message he left you in this, it's overtaken by the ghosts of the past at this point.
Yeah. Chalk it up to other mysteries to figure out. So, but
your cousin / prince has pointed something out to you, that there is definitely something there with that compass.
He will take it back and tuck it back into the pocket then, and we'll see where it leads. You have a city to run, and I have a shop to finish getting set up, and apparently coterie mates to meet at some point. So
we'll make sure you keep informed.
Thank you.
Welcome to Philadelphia. And she's going to slowly slide a can of wasabi peas across the table.
For the rats?
For the rats.
We'll take them with him. It's good to be home.
And I think with that is a perfect place to end our 0.5 Hessian homecomings. So I will bring St. Einar back in so everybody can introduce themselves before we kick off the credits. Yeah. Oh right, I'm supposed to pick who goes first. Felber, you're the main character energy. Go.
Okay, so Velber or Dapper Zombie, everywhere that you can find me, that is the name I'm under. Be here for Philly. I'm all over the place doing vampire nonsense. So, it's fairly easy to find me. I think but I look forward to seeing where Pendleton's story goes and what mysteries and secrets we can find in Philly.
He 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 he.
So many. The city's just 3 mysteries in a trench coat, man.
Just 3?
You're right. 69 in the trench coat.
Nice.
Nice.
I guess we'll go towards Einar. Let him do his introductions then.
Hi, I'm Einar, lead storyteller here at Philly by Night, as well as portraying several different SPCs as the story unfolds. You can find me anywhere I want you to find me at Einar_TTRPG, or where the skies are blue at In Stars Orbit. And then we'll kick things over to my partner in crime and fellow storyteller.
Hello. Again. I am Decay FX. You can find me anywhere I want you to find me at either Decay_FX, that would be TikTok and Discord, or Decay FX, all pushed close together, where the skies are blue and on the tube of you. And I portrayed Prince Alicia Sexton. Always.
Yeah, we love our prince, which I guess leaves me. So hi,
Yeah.
I'm still not getting used to this, but I'm Fennecly Wilder. I am now one of these storytellers here at Philly by Night. I played Cyrene Leclerc, the court oracle / Tremere Primogen, Gato, the maybe we'll see what happens with Gato. He's a character along with Charlie and several other various SPCs that will be coming around here. You can find me on most things at the Fennec Wolf on pretty much everything except for Discord. It's that Fennec Wolf. And if you can't find me somewhere, you're not supposed to. Again, thank you all for tuning in to another 0.5 for Philly by Night for the Mystery Machine Coterie that I will be running. Y'all stay safe out there, and remember, just because we portray monsters and play monsters doesn't mean we aren't the light in somebody's eyes. Have a good night, everybody.